How's it hanging, dudes and dudettes? My name is Shawn, and my excitement for this game is bubbling over. I mean, at this point, it's all at an all-time high, like danger, critical mass. You know what I mean? If you are crazy and wild about this game and can't wait for it to come out, go ahead and subscribe. So many of you have, but many of you haven't either. You know what I'm saying? I'd love you for it if you did. Um, Planes, trains, and ships were a major focus in the third dev diary. We will get more news in a day or so, but let's break down what we know already. This is an insane feature, and I will explain why. Yesterday, I discussed that you will be able to trade with other cities. What that means exactly, we still don't quite know. But that alone is pretty insane. But we do know that these resources are imported and exported by cargo ships and planes at least. They can carry so much weight, but they are a bit slower, at least for the ship specifically, right? They additionally will have some big financial incentive. How do we know this? Simple. You see, the game knows you will need a return on your investment, and the trailer confirms that building large infrastructure at a large scale city will be very costly. So, manage this feature wisely, right? We have all seen the trailer, so let's go ahead and go in depth by taking a look at what the dev diary has to say on paper, so to speak. They break down a lot that isn't said inside the trailer by the narrator, and I think we can extrapolate a bunch of stuff from there. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, water transportation features both passenger and cargo options. Ships can transport a high number of passengers both inside the city and to and from outside connections. Intercity water transport requires access to the map edges by seaways and connecting the harbors to these seaways. A passenger harbor is a great addition to any waterfront city. It looks pretty nice, I have to say. These pictures are pretty nice. Air transportation is a fast intercity option for both passengers and cargo. Air transportation intercity, really? The planes carry relatively small amounts of passengers and cargo compared to the ships and trains, but they lose in capacity. What they lose in capacity, they make up for in speed. Airport requires a large amount of room to be built, the international airport being the size of a small town. Depending on how many airport transport lines are created, they can also generate a lot of traffic between the city and the airport. When placing an airport, you can see the projected landing and takeoff zones at the ends of the building, giving you an approximation of where limitations to zoned buildings' heights are applied. That's a great detail. Actually, putting limitations to the heights of the buildings that surround a certain area. You can't just plop your airport in the middle of your city no more like some people do. You know what I mean? In Cities 1. You can't do that anymore. I also think that air transportation as a intercity option is crazy. Is that like helicopters? Is that blimps? Like I mean, you're just gonna have big jetliners flying from one half of the city to the other half of the city. There's gotta be more to that. Air transport lines don't require any additional infrastructure other than the airports themselves. The airport are connected to outside connections with the line tool, and the airplanes start traveling on the lines once they are created. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. Cargo types. In addition to delivery trucks and vans, cargo trains are the backbone of resource transportation on land. Once a cargo train terminal is built, companies can use it as storage for incoming and outgoing cargo. Okay, the same thing is true for ships, if I'm not mistaken. So, cargo ships can carry large amounts of cargo, 1,000 tons. See, they get specific amounts. So there's going to be a lot of management within our infrastructure and our resources and our industries, right? Because they give you specific amounts, which means they know that there are specific amounts, so you're going to have to manage specific amounts. Okay, cargo ships. They are slower than trains, but are not held back by height traffic on the roads. Cargo harbors can also store resources and goods to be further distributed, similar to cargo train terminals, like I just said. Okay, cargo harbors also generate a lot of traffic as delivery vehicles offload the cargo ship and carry resources into the city. Furthermore, the cargo harbor can be enhanced by a railway connection, allowing trains to transport cargo directly to and from the harbor. So, you know how all of us, when we mod our builds and stuff like that, we always put like a train terminal next to like the harbor and stuff like that, because that's realistic. It simulates realism, and you don't necessarily have to do that. I mean, people will drive wherever to store their stuff in the game. You know what I mean? But now that they're trying to put a focus on like where things are oriented and where they're placed, that is a big plus for us, I think. So anyways. Okay, it says the cargo can be upgraded with a rail connection to connect it with the other parts of your city. Okay, so air cargo transport becomes available when the airport is upgraded with a cargo terminal, which adds an additional terminal exclusively for cargo transport, where cargo planes can pick up and offload their cargo. Compared to cargo trains and ships, cargo planes are relatively low capacity, but they are the fastest option available and not impacted by traffic in the city or reliant on available waterways. Okay, and then they go on to explain about transportation lines like that. But I think we're going to save some of that for like a different video, and we're going to see what the insights are, and like because there's another video coming out. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be coming out. There's just so much content. Now you guys can see why I had to get this disasters video out soon, because if I didn't get that out when I did, it was a double upload day, but if I didn't get that out when I did, guys, I don't think I ever would have got it out. And as you can see, it's already doing really well. People really like that video, and it's kind of short, but it's to the point, and that's what I think is a good thing about a lot of my videos, because I don't need like a 50-60 minute long breakdown of every single thing. Like a lot of people, like, they can look at a toolbar and see that, okay, this is landscaping. Like, people don't need that sort of a breakdown. They want to know, like, some of the intricacies, like what do certain things mean, like how we pointed out that there's trade between cities. Like that was a one-liner in that trailer. You know what I mean? But that means a lot. There's a lot there, right? So I don't know. I love you guys, but until next time, piss off.
2 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I like good pussy and I like good trees. Smoke so much weed you wouldn't believe, and I get more ass than a toilet seat. 3 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I met a bad bitch last night in the D. Let me tell you how I made her leave with me. Conversation and Hennessy. I've been to the motherfucking mountaintop. Heard motherfuckers talk, seen them drop. If I ain't